Same for me.
What was the last thing that I said that you heard?
The last thing I remember you said, because I was panicking and going, "What's going on?" was we were talking. You were going to be around the pool and you were going to be editing using the MacBook and getting stuff done. Like, you might have said something. That's the last thing I heard. Something like that.
Well, I was saying about editing this video. I've come across this AI tool that a friend recommended me called Opus Pro, and you get like 30 days for free or whatever, where you upload a 1 hour video. But this is going to be more than a 1 hour. But you can upload a 1 hour podcast, and it chops up all the best bits into shorts, YouTube shorts or TikToks or whatever. And it has all the text as well. In certain words go out in green and yellow font, and it's just like you've just made 100 reels in like 10 minutes. So,
well, I'll tell you something, mate. You know what's going to happen with that, though, don't you?
It's going to blow up. It's going to blow up.
Well, that's the ideal scenario. But the scenario that's definitely not ideal is we're getting tracked, and all my words are going to be used, and AI is going to steal all my words and give it to the FBI and the CIA, and I won't be here anymore.
Well, you can edit words, but apparently this AI as well is supposed to cut out the but it does do that, but it's not cut them all out. But anyway, it's a good tool, so it saves you.
Sounds incredible.
Yeah, instead of spending hours and hours making 100 reels or shorts, you could just use this Opus Pro, and it'll just 10 minutes. It'll just render it into all these different chops. But what I might do is chop it up an hour videos like that, and then just upload it, see what it does. But yeah, just little jobs like that. I'm gonna take it to Ibiza, and then because I'm not into parties and stuff like that. I've got a family. I've got a kid that I'll just be like lay next to a pool. I'm like, right, let's edit all these videos, or let AI do its thing. But
that sounds good. It's very handy, to be honest, to be able to just do all that. But I went to Ibiza in, can't remember now, 5 years ago probably. And I went in the winter. When are you going again? Sorry.
Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, I went in the winter. There's no party season. You'll be fine. I hired a car and I literally did as many beaches as I could. And I think I did 12 different beaches. And literally I didn't see any English people. And it was not like you'd expect Ibiza to be. But if you go in party season, which I've never done because I'm the same as you, I'm an old man now. Like the big 4-0 is next year. But even in 2018, I've not partied since probably 2017, 16 or something like that. And it was very, very rare. Like it was like once. I'm not drunk since I can't bloody remember which year it was. So when I went to Ibiza, I definitely wanted to see the beaches. And let me tell you, dude, those beaches are some of the nicest in the world. They've got no one on them when it's non-party season. And I know you're not the type of guy that probably wants to sit around on a beach, but if you want to go out and get some scenery, you can have a walk. You've got an island out there you could swim out to. Don't do what I did, though, and get on it with a lilo, because you'll burst the lilo because it's sharp, and then you'll just come back with gashes and wounds because I tried to climb onto a rocky island. Don't do that. But it's really nice just to see the beaches with no trash on there, no alcoholic beverages, no white English people. Not being racist there because I'm white. I'm allowed to be racist to myself. I'm a cracker. I mean, look at me. I'm a ghost. I'm allowed to white idiot. You know what I mean? I can say that. I've just got you cancelled now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, apparently we're in the family bit, but I've never been so. But usually when I go abroad, I'm like, I want to go and do this. I want to go and do that. But I've got a 6-month-old daughter now, so it's just like, you know what? We'll just chill out and play a MacBook, do a bit of music. But,
that's perfect. Like a lot of the time, if I'm doing like work like edits, apart from editing for YouTube, because it's like I have to use my PC because I'm using Premiere Pro, so it's like I don't have anything that I've used that on really to take out. But if I'm doing any kind of editing for drums, which is just on my phone and stuff like that, it's just like out in the peaks or go out for a nice meal in Sheffield and eat a nice travel 20 minutes or 25 minutes just to sit down and edit with some nice food. It's a bit more cultured than where I live here, which is, I love this place and that, but nice to get away. And I think like a different environment inspires you, and you'd make different decisions about the final cut with where you are, with the sun beaming and stuff. Sometimes like it gets me down to just be in the same place, to work in here and then editing here, which is also work, and then just doing the same thing in the same room stagnates me. And that's one of the reasons why I kind of went and did what I wanted to do with my life rather than working in a bank. It wasn't so much the system and the banking, which I disagreed with, although I don't think it's a great system. It was being in the same room every single day of my life, looking at the same walls. It does get to you, so you need that break in Ibiza, and you'll be loving it, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, it was 2019 last time I did like a beach holiday.
Yeah.
Apart from last year, went to New York for his honeymoon. But kind of going towards this bank money subject, I went to New York last year, and I went 2018 and last year, but 2018, like, everything's cheap. Everything's so cheap. You just don't get shit. Just buy whatever you want. But last year, I was like, oh my God, it's like $15 for a salad. It literally came on news, $15 for a salad. I'm like, Jesus. But then I was like, oh, I've not got enough dollars. But turns out most places didn't even want cash. It was just card payments only. So I'm like, I'm going to buy IB for now. I'm getting me euros. I'm like, is this even worth getting? So
yeah,
just like,
dude, get them. Keep it in circulation. Keep it flowing.
Yeah, like what is going off here? So
yeah,
but yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to use them.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think the problem is, I go back to politics all the time. When I was in the bank and I was looking into whether back in 2011, even 2012, even 2007 with the economic crash, I was looking into all these different things about what the direction of the world is going, and it was saying money's going to get smaller. Money has got smaller. Money's going to look more plastic. Money does look more plastic. It's not like paper anymore. And eventually, it's kind of going to get turned into this card with a chip on it, which it was anyway. This like debit cards back then, but it's being used, processed more and more with finance, and with day-to-day paying of anything, like whether you go to the shop or doing it online. It's all becoming electronic, and with regards to things getting more expensive, that is part of it. I think that's part of the process of the way that the world was supposed to go. Inflation goes up, people don't earn much more, but inflation continues to rise. And I genuinely think when you destroy an economy, when you break a load of people that are doing the best to survive, you profit from it. And eventually, it goes back to the chats that we were talking to earlier about with the screen in front of your face, like when you go to pay for something, with the cameras that monitor how fast you go in, with the pollution. It's all going into one simple system. And if you think about China, which I've visited China before, and I've lived that life, and I didn't get involved with seeing people purchase using a social credit score, social credit system. Everything's on the phone. Didn't see any money while I was there. It was just everything was on your phone, and people can go, yeah, but you're a lunatic. Wow, that's good. That's great. Go and live in China then. Go and see how much freedom you've got over there, because that's coming, and that's what's happening. And so I knew about this over a decade ago, and I was preaching it then, and I was a conspiracy theorist. Now I'm preaching it now, and I'm a conspiracy theorist, but it's actually happening. Whatever you'd say about this situation, people don't want to face the facts of reality, that actually money is disappearing, cash is disappearing. We are gradually, by accidentally, oh, well, we've got the cameras that are all looking at your cars now. We might as well use them to monitor what you're doing. We might as well, now they're there for pollution. I mean, the pollution wasn't as bad or as good as we thought or whatever, but now we can see that you're all going to go 20 miles an hour. And if you go 1 mile an hour over ever, it's a fine, that we'll control you that way. And then what we'll do is we'll send the fine on your phone. And on the phone, that's how you pay for your goods. And also on your phone is your social media. So if you say something, which is like what I'm saying now, I won't be able to buy any food anymore. Oh, it's a coincidence. We accidentally came to this point, even though we've been talking about it for 50 years. Oh, we might as well just enslave you. And this sounds crazy. It sounds wacko. It sounds lunacy. I know it does. But I've seen it evolve. And I know where we're going. And honestly, we are, in my opinion, I'm going to say it right now, the economy in the future, next 5-10 years, is going to be purposely destroyed. There'll be no cash anymore. And it'll be, well, we might as well have a social credit system now because we're going to have to do everything on a digital currency. And also, very quickly, I don't want to go too much into finance with regards to myself. But I went into crypto and stuff like that in the past, and I'm probably going to get some hate now. And I've mined crypto and stuff like that. And then when your everyday person begins to start realizing that you can make money from alternate methods other than the traditional currency system of what the government produce, and centralization. Once you start going and using an economy which is an ulterior, that's when they started shutting down the mining rigs and saying you can't do that anymore. And I recently had the government recently had an app where I use contact me saying, due to government policy changes, we are now shutting down our app. So you've got to get your money out by the 10th of October, otherwise it's gone forever. And I was like, that's in about 2 weeks. Where did this come from? The government never said anything. That's because they don't say anything, because they don't want you to be making money. They want the minions to stay broke when the economy breaks, and then they're going to profit. And I don't mean the government per se, as in Mr. Rishi Sunak, even though he's got shares in it and he will be profiting. I'm talking about the people that have got the hand right up firmly, their bottoms were telling them exactly what to do. Because believe it or not, try and conclude with this, believe it or not, they don't make the decisions anymore. They used to, but now it seems like we used to have a left and a right, and now we don't have that anymore. We have one side which basically virtue signals to corporation ideas and corporation policies about what you've got to do to be a good person and to fit in. And then you've got the other side who speaks and goes, actually, I think you're just really just worshipping the corporations who are destroying the economy, and we just want truth and progression. And then the other side goes, well, we'll just destroy you then with a smear campaign. That's how we're going to do it. And that's how they shut you down. That's how, if you've got an alternative opinion, one side, no left or right anymore, one side talking rubbish, other side talking truth. As soon as that truth gets to the surface, that side goes, right, we'll take you down with a smear campaign. How do you like that? So, yeah, it's crazy. Sorry to say so much in the space of 2 minutes. But...
yeah, man, definitely agree. I got into Bitcoin on like the worst day you could possibly get into Bitcoin, which was the 9th of November 2021, when it was its all-time high.
60,000
yeah.
for a Bitcoin, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I'd heard about it, but I didn't really know much about it. But then one of my mates made a load of money on it. I was like, I can do with some of this. So I just signed up. I had no idea about its all-time high or whatever. I just went, right, 100 quid, whatever. I'm not bothered what happens. And then since then, it just went like that. But
it's £10.
So I'm just like buying it as it was going down like that. But then this past 2 years, it's coming up to 2 years now since I've been in it, been doing just researching it. I'm like, holy crap, I've got into Bitcoin on the worst day. But to be honest, I'm not bothered because I'm in it for the long game. I'm not in it to make a load of money next week. I'm in it to, there's making money, but if cash is going to be nothing anyway, maybe Bitcoin is the cure, is the answer to the financial system and what have you. Because not only are big corporations accepting Bitcoin payments, these smaller ones are now as well. Like small ones like, Co-op. I think Co-op are accepting Bitcoin payments. There's Amazon. Well, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I'm mainly in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. But the thing is with Solana, what I like about them is they've got their own mobile phone coming out and stuff like that, and they're just, expanding the project sort of thing. But I love Shopify, and Shopify's just accepted Solana payments, and I'm a big Solana guy, so when I see stuff like that happening, I'm like, yeah, this isn't a scam. This is like legit. So I'm just getting more and more into this crypto thing because I don't trust cash, to be honest. So I think a lot's going to happen in the next year or two.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I had a point what you said at the beginning. Basically, I mean, going on what you've just said. I mean, I trusted cash when it was always backed by gold and it was regulated, but it just became, essentially, if you go to where money originates from, the central bank, centralized, in the US, they've got the central banks, right? And when they print money, it costs something like $7. $7 for $1 is just created out of thin air, which then that $1 that they pass down is worth another $6, right? So automatically, like that's not backed by anything because you've got $6 just made out of thin air. And the more, and that obviously gets lent to the big banks. Now the big banks then lend it to the retail banks, and then there's more. There's more money created out of thin air because they owe money back at a certain percentage. So then it's worth something like $20 odd per dollar. And then the banks lend it the credit to your consumers and your people that are getting credit cards and personal loans and mortgages, and they put on a 20%. So then suddenly that $1 is now worth $100. But that doesn't exist. That $1 is the only physical currency that exists, and the 99 other dollars is just made up out of thin air. That's crazy, and that's why partly inflation exists, and that's why nobody can ever get a head start that has a lot less money, because there's just a load of money that's created out of thin air and everybody's in debt, masses of debt. And so when we're talking about Bitcoin and in general with CBDCs, central banking digital currencies, they essentially take away the necessity to be printing things, and that the design is that we're going to go on that. So if you get the central banking digital currency now and you get involved in blockchain, then when it all goes over to blockchain, it's going to be like everyone's got blockchain, so your blockchain's worth more than theirs. And that's why you need to be, that's what I was going to say. This all leads back to what I was going to say, my original point at the beginning, where he said, that's why I'm in for the long term, because it's got to be a long-term thing. Unless you want to take it in and constantly, people have made loads of money by putting it in, it goes up, then they take it out, and they wait for it to go down. Don't get me wrong. But I've always been in for the long journey because I see where it's going. I saw this back, like I said, 15 years ago. The direction of money is going to blockchain. So that's why it's going to be worth a lot more when you're in at the right time. Anyway, even though it just seems crazy that you bought in at 65 grand or something at the time, it was worth one Bitcoin. In the future, if that's worth 200 grand, it's going to go up. If it's worth $1 million, So I'm talking too much, but it's just that the point is we are going in one direction. And it ain't physical things, I can tell you.
Yeah, that's it. Because I'm thinking of just leave me Bitcoin as it is. And if I want to make a little bit extra quick cash, then I'll just get another coin or something. But yeah. Bitcoin, that is for the long game, or just forever.
And the problem is with stuff like that, dude. And the in my opinion is you've got sharks, and so suddenly, like. I mean, one of the reasons why you got in at the wrong time was because it was really strong. And then what you usually get in finance is the big beasts that own the most of that market share of the coin. They crash it purposefully. So it might be a tweet from someone like Elon Musk, or it might be the news incessantly going, Bitcoin's gonna collapse. Bitcoin's gonna collapse. Bitcoin's gonna collapse. And then everyone goes, oh, they sell it. And then it goes down to 10 grand. And then the sharks go, oh, this is cheap. I'll have £1 million worth of that. And then all the sharks come in, then it goes back up again. And it's like everyone and then everyone pays to get in because they see it going up. And then they make more money. And it's just a circle of that. And sharks are just circling and waiting or manifesting through probably financial means, media's input on it to help them make it look terrible, like it's going to be destroyed. What is it? It goes back to the same thing. Scare everyone again, because then they capitalize on it. It's just the same. This has been going on for forever. It happened with, was it in the 20s or maybe even a bit earlier than that, 1920s, where The Americans broke the housing markets and then came in and bought all that and owned all the houses. I mean, we don't learn from history. It's absolutely insane.
That's it. I mean, you get like these big guys like the BlackRock guy. I forgot his name. Who like owns everything. He's it's a scam. It's a scam. Don't bother. But now he's like proper heavily invested in it, and they're gonna have their own ETF soon. 17th of October, I think it is. So
right,
I'm gonna see what happens on 17th of October. But
mate, BlackRock and Vanguard, they pretty much own everything. So it goes back to what I was saying earlier again. It perpetuates crises, because if you own everything and it stagnates, you need an emergency to make more money. Otherwise, people are going to start making that money back, and they need that monopoly. So if you own all the oil and all the pharmaceutical industry and the media, I mean, it's not rocket science to work out how you can control the flow of money, really, because you've got everybody on your side because you own it. I mean, I don't know why people say it's such a conspiracy theory. It's literally happening. Like, a conspiracy theory? Yeah, but it's actually happening, though. So, yeah, okay, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I'm in touch with reality. That's the difference. Like, I know how it works. It doesn't matter to me what people call me. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but you live in a false reality. It's just the way it is, isn't it?
That's it. So I've got me set into, well, it's not wanting an argument, arguing with people. I'm just trying to wake people up. Like, my pension is gold. Like, I don't pay into a pension. People are like, oh, you need one. I'm like, but your money's becoming worthless and worthless, whereas gold's going up. Like, one gold sovereign 100 years ago was £1. It's now like £400, £450. An ounce of gold when I were born was 150 quid. An ounce of gold today, or a couple of months ago, 1,700. So would you rather keep that 150 quid, or would you rather have 150 quid of gold and just watch it go up like that over the years and just not touch it, like a pension? So have a pension if you want, but I'm going for gold because that's real money. It's God's money. I'm not into God and religion, but if he is real, he's left gold on this planet for us to have. It's been here since the beginning of time. Yeah. But that's just me anyway.
No, but it's right though. It's physical, actual matter. It's a scarce. Gold exists in scarcity, and that makes it valuable. If tomorrow there was a meteorite that hit, it didn't kill anybody, but it just basically introduced another 100 million tons of gold across the oceans that we could all farm, it'd be worth zero. And that's why gold will always be worth something, and you're better doing it. I mean, we're taught, I don't know whether we're taught this at school, because we had that conversation earlier, we weren't taught anything in school really about the real world, but save your money. Make sure you save your money. That is the worst advice ever. Oh, yeah. I've got 100 grand. I'm going to save my money. It's 1980. I'm going to save my money. I've got 100 grand. I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm just going to save it, leave it there. It's on 0.1%, my savings account. And then it fast forward to 2023, and it's worth nothing because of inflation. Because inflation, believe it or not, everybody, doesn't go down. It only goes one way. So they want you to keep hold of your money, and well, ultimately they want you to spend it because they don't want you to have anything. But the way that they're going to make money is off people just saving the money because it's not going anywhere. That's the problem, isn't it? So for a pension, like you said, just backing up your point, why would you want that? Oh, please, sir, I get £80 in a month. Oh, thank you for that. After my hard work and years of grinding my fingers to the bone, please, can I have that £80 that you grant me, which is worth, I could buy a loaf of bread now. You know what I mean? It's like that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when I cancelled my pension, it actually tells you what it's estimated you're going to get when you're 67. It's like 2060 or whatever. In 2060, you'll have a total of 88 grand. I'm like, what's 88 grand in another 30 odd years or whatever? Mate, I'm going to survive for like a year and then I'm going to have to go back to work. Because I'm seeing like loads of old guys who are like coming up to 80 and they're going back to work. I'm like, are you not retired? Yeah, I got a bit bored, so I'm going to have to go back to work, something to do. I'm like, no, it's because you can't survive. Because you were told this lie of saving money and getting a pension, and you realise all these years later, when you come to retirement age, shit, I can't afford to live. I can afford to live for about a year. I've got to go back to work. I don't want to be that guy.
Me too, mate. I 100% agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. And it's not only the whole worthlessness of what you're going to be given, but it's also the fact that when you're like retired at 80, what are you going to spend your money on anyway?
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to just survive. You're not going to go on holiday, are you? It's like you need to do things now and live now and be enjoying it as well. And a lot of people have the whole idea of, and it's fine, everyone's different. I'm not having to go at anybody, and it's just the way that life is. But I'm very different in the sense that I just live for now, very spontaneous. And if I feel like I don't want to do something, I'll not do it regardless of money.
Hmm.
I'd rather put myself in a predicament and be living, because I don't want to get to, like, say if I retire at 75, it's probably a really bad guess, but a bad projection, because it's probably going to be later than that now. That it's just, how can I live? I'm going to go to Bolivia and then go hiking. I'm not going to have the health probably by that time to do it. I think sometimes you've got to do things as well when you're younger and that. Like, so, going in, like I was talking about earlier, and you were talking about when you're going to Ibiza, get your editing done there. Like, you're in a nice surroundings, you're traveling, you get, you're around a pool, you got the sun. And I think a lot of people are focused on 9 till 5, 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 9 till 5. Yes, it's the weekend for 2 minutes, 9 till 5, 9 till 5, 9 till 5. Oh, I can't wait to retire and die, 9 till 5. Oh, it's here, retirement, I'm dead. Like, that doesn't work for me.
No. I don't know why people are so want to go down. It's because they don't know an alternative. They're just doing as what they've been told. They don't realise there's an alternative. You can be an employee, or you can be an entrepreneur. You can have a living regret, or risk. That's it. Risk or regret.
Yeah.
Pick one. I'm going for
risk. Scary, right?
I'm going for risk.
Yeah, I'm going for risk. Don't go for risk. Lucas, don't go for risk. You'll lose everything. You've got everything to lose. Just take this job that's 9 till 5 and pay all your taxes and have fucking no money. Take that. That's not a risk at all. You'll not regret any of that when you're 70.
The thing is, 9 till 5 is now 5 while 5. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
It is. And the problem is, mate, and one of the problems for me about this whole world and the direction it's going is the creative outlets, such as myself, because I do teach drums, and people are starting to suffer and they're starting to feel the wrath of expenses and the cost of living. So what's the first thing they cut out? They cut out the arts. Well, we don't need to learn the drums anymore because we've got to focus on being able to eat as a family. So we'll cut him off. That impacts me. Or whoever teaches, and then I spend less at the shop, so the shop doesn't make as much money. Then they get rid of the shopkeeper, and it's just a chain reaction. This is what people don't think about. That, oh, shut up, it's not going. All right then, but what they're not spending on, you're not going to spend on either. And when you're tightening your budget string, so your business, whoever you are that's complaining about me complaining, no one's going to spend any fucking money at your business anymore because they ain't got it to spend. So it'll impact everybody, every single person eventually. And this is what we're not accustomed to. It's like, oh, it's them. It's all right. It's just them at the moment. We're all right. We're all right. Yeah, you won't be, though. And I don't want it to be like that. I want you to be happy, and I want you to make money, and I want you to be able to live. It's not like we're saying it to cause a problem. We're saying it to want to help people. I think that's the problem, isn't it? Nobody wants to look past the surface and scratch past it and see, because they don't want to take a peek behind the curtain and go, "Oh, what's my life going to be like?" And say, "Nope, not looking at that. We'll deal with that later when I can't afford to pay for my children."
That's it. We'll cross that bridge when it comes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
wow.
Should we It's going to go off in 2 minutes. So should we cut it there, then do another one? Because I'm bursting.
I know as well, mate. I need a coffee. I'm on my 7th.
Yeah, nice one, man. Yeah, I'll cut it here, then I'll come back in 5 minutes or so.
No worries, mate. I'll see you soon.
Yep, see you in a bit, man.
All right, bye-bye.
Are we back?
We're back. We're here.
Nice. Oh, man.
Coffee number 10. Sorry, go on.
Coffee number 10. Wow. I've had 2 teas, 2 waters. I'm just pissing all morning, man. I've got a small bladder.
I wondered what you were going to say then, but it'd have been fine.
No, I'm just saying. I discovered you. I went out with my mates for someone's birthday. I bumped into Mark Proctor and Matt Goodall.
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, mate, how's it going?" He's like, "Yeah." And he was saying to Matt, "Oh, this was Luke who plays guitar and into metal and all that sort of stuff." He goes, "Do you want to play live? Do you play live?" I was like, "Not at the minute. No, I'm just writing as much as I can. Get a couple of albums out. I've got 2 albums, 2 EPs now, so I wanted to play live, but I just don't know any. I know some good musicians, but people are just like too heavily invested in like drugs and alcohol and shit like that, and I'm just not a part of that." And they were like, "Oh, we know a good drummer. He loves his metal and all. Warlord Drums." I'm like, "Send me a link." So I just checked you out on YouTube straight away. Oh, like, Jesus Christ. And where's this guy from? He's like, "Oh, it's from Sheffield." Well, oh, sound. And he's a blade. Like, Jesus. So that was, you were just there with United shirt on, playing Blink-182. I was like, "Oh, hell." So I just went and like streamed every other video. Got like 250 videos. Like, Jesus Christ, man. So that's how I discovered you.
So that's why I got a few more minutes last month. So I never. No, I know Matt and Goodall from Matt and Goodall and Prague, or Matt and Mark from school. Went back way back to like year 7. I knew them. So yeah, it was unreal because they mentioned it to me that they met someone, like obviously like Lucas is into metal, and showed me a video, and I was like, bloody hell. I was like, because you never know what to expect. You know, when people that aren't particularly into the metal scene say, they're really good at what they do, and then they send you a link. You sometimes, I know it's really judgmental, but just because of the past history, I'm always a bit like, all right, you know what I mean? And then when I saw it, I was like, yeah, he's fucking good. Like, this is awesome. And I'm always into black metal anyway. So it was incredible. So it was really very, very, thank you for the compliment, by the way. It's really nice that that you actually explored my videos and genuinely enjoyed it, because sometimes you often wonder what people view you as. It wouldn't matter anyway. I'd still go and make the same content. But yeah, dude, like, appreciated, and it's really good to know you. And we do have like things in common, like from Sheffield, and we're both blades and into the same style of music. And awesome.
Well, what I think is really good with you as well is that you're not just into black metal. You know, you've done like Lionel Richie covers and stuff like that. That's, you know what I mean? It's like you're an all-round musician. You know what I mean? And you'll play.
It didn't used to be, dude. Thank you. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like some people might just see a couple of videos and just go, "Oh, he just plays blast beats," but you're not. You know what I mean? It's like you do all different kinds of stuff. So that's why I was like, yeah, I'm definitely following this guy. I'm definitely going to message him, and he's passionate. You know what I mean? And the fact that you look after yourself as well. You're not like a druggie like a lot of people.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for knowing yourself and knowing what makes you happy. I think, you make mistakes in life, and you like, I used to be heavily into partying and stuff, and I was literally the opposite. Like, when I was kind of late teens, early 20s, love to drink, love to go out and party, still drum a lot and still practiced, and I've always had that as my outlet. But I've got a lot of different things to thank for making me who I am today, and I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just feel like I know who I am and I'm happy, and I know what makes me tick, because I've kind of done things which I knew didn't make me happy. So things like not being able to practice as hard or as logical because I was partying. I can see that now in my early 20s, and the person that you can become is so much more superior to if you were just doing that all the time. And I'm not saying don't have a drink. People can have a drink and stuff. But I discovered martial arts as well. So my two main outlets were hitting things and hitting things.
Yeah.
And that essentially created all serotonin, dopamine, and all these magical chemicals that are in your brain, which you can create yourself through discipline and getting your head down and focusing on something that you enjoy. I'm not saying just go and work hard at something that you hate. If you do that and you're completely money orientated and you only want to make money, go for it as well. Everything's fine. But I don't want to be a bad role model for a start. Like I want to show children that you don't have to be in this culture of getting smashed every weekend. I just don't think it helps. I don't think it makes you. I don't think anybody's happy that does it all the time, if I'm honest. But I don't really know anybody's feelings, so I can't say that evidently or evidently. And so I appreciate that you can see that, mate. And ultimately, it's helped me. And with regards to different tastes in music and doing different things and listening to different types of music, I think it just helps everybody to know a little bit of something in everything, even if you don't know a lot. You know, it does. I think people can get hooked up in just liking metal, just liking, if it's not a 12-minute jazz progressive piece by Dave Weckl, then I'm not interested because he's the best and no one else is as good as him. Because we'd all just end up hating life and music. So I enjoy multiple things. My teacher, Ian Elliott, who's based in Chesterfield, I'll say my teacher, I've not had lessons for 15 years or whatever, but when I was getting lessons from him, he taught me about the Dillinger Escape Plan. He was this guy that was into jazz, and he was doing all this, ironically, Dave Weckl stuff, which I do find amazing, doing like all these different jazz pieces. And I was like, Ian, please, can you do this? And it'd just be sight reading a jazz piece by Dave Weckl. I was just in awe. Like, how's he sight reading all that information? There's just things all over the sheet. What's he doing with that stuff? I had no idea how to read music then or anything. And then he'd be like, Gaz, have you checked out this band before? I know you're into your metal and that. That's how he speaks. Sorry, Ian, if you're watching this. And I was like, no, what is it? He's like, called Dillinger Escape Plan, mate. Bloody amazing. And all I've heard of my mates and everybody locally to me that weren't really into music with the theory and like trying to learn and stuff like that, they said they were just made noise and it was crap. But I actually listened to, for example, the Dillinger Escape Plan, and I was like, started to understand. And I couldn't believe I had a teacher that it was the most insane thing I've ever heard. It's just crazy when you first put it on. But he was so open-minded. He made me open-minded. Martial arts made me open-minded. Other people's actions and treating me like crap made me open-minded and realize I don't want to ever be like that, like they are, because they are just not open-minded whatsoever or nice people. So many lessons in life made me go, I don't want to drink. I don't want to do drugs. I don't want to just sit listening to just metal because it's just going to make me go down one route and just focus on some one thing. And I think I'm a very philosophical person. Like Bruce Lee says, he doesn't fear the man that practices one kick. I'll start again. Bruce Lee said he doesn't fear the man that practices 10,000 kicks. He fears the man that practices one kick 10,000 times. And it's a bit of a hypocritical thing to say, because obviously we're talking about variety. But if you just surround yourself with practicing like the same thing over and over, you're going to get really good at it. But then if you do venture out, it's kind of counterintuitive to what he was saying, you start establishing, actually, I can practice that thing 10,000 times and that thing 10,000 times because I've got enough, believe it or not, I have got enough bloody time. And so, you know, you can get really wrapped up in one, and that's great. You'll become really honed at that. And I agree with Bruce Lee with that. But at the same time, if you start doing kind of like immersing yourself in other things at the same time, you can spend as much time listening and doing things like that as you want. So yeah, it's completely the worst example I've just given, but it kind of makes sense in my mind. So yeah, that is all that matters.
That's it, man.
Well, you're the same, mate. You're the same. You're obviously open-minded, and you I can tell that you're not just got down one route. I presume that you're not a massive part. Well, you told me already. You're not into just partying and stuff. I find it such a waste of time, to be honest.
Yeah, my partying were not much. It was at uni. It was before and after. Was it semesters? Is that the word? It's like 3 months or so. So it's before and after the work, not during. You know what I mean? Just like everybody just going out. I was like, I'm not bothered. But 2014 summer, it was like co-op every Monday, and then after that, I just don't go on nights out. I'm just not interested in it. Like, I've got better things to be doing with my time and my money. Not that I didn't enjoy it. I enjoyed, going out with mates and that, but no, I've got better things to do. But
Hey, the thing is, I agree with you 100%. And actually, I say this, I went, not that I didn't enjoy it, but I look back and I think, what memories have I actually got apart from like this? You see anything there?
yeah,
You see that?
yeah, definitely.
What memories have I got apart from like stars to the back of my head? Oh, well, that was fun. Like, actually, did I enjoy it really? I don't know whether I actually did enjoy it, to be honest. And I enjoyed the company of my friends, but all that happened in the pre-drink session when I still remembered what was going on. And actually, the thing that I enjoyed was the company of the individuals, not the booze. The booze for me, and drugs in general, I think, is about perpetuating a confidence and a different personality and a style that you wouldn't normally be. I say, forget drugs, forget alcohol, be that person 24/7. Obviously, not the toxic person, but you can live that life. You can live that confidence. You don't need anything to become somebody. And I think the trouble is because everyone's so scared of what comes out the mouth in society that they have to get absolutely smashed to achieve the person they want to be. When really, why aren't they doing that 24/7? Why aren't they saying what they think 24/7? They have to get smashed to be able to achieve what they want to achieve. But you don't. That's not the truth whatsoever. That is absolutely. It's a falsehood. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely not the smartest person ever. Like, I'm really not that much of a smart person, but I want full control.
I think you are. I think your definition of smart is probably wrong. I think you're a very smart person. But anyway, yeah.
Well, I sometimes think, did I really fail school, or did school fail me? But no, I just want full control of my thoughts. I don't want to take a drug or alcohol or whatever and just completely lose control of myself. I just don't want to be that person. And people do it all the time, every weekend or whatever. But yes, definitely not for me. And if I'm boring, and if I come across as boring to somebody because of that, I don't care. Like, I'm boring to you, like, because I don't drink or whatever. But I know how to have fun. I know how to have fun without it. So
ultimately, I don't think they're saying it because they think you're boring. I think they're saying it because they're a bit jealous of what you've got. It's a little bit like, come on, be brought down to our level. Come and get some. You know that phrase? Let's just get absolutely obliterated tonight. Who cares? Get the shot. Who gives it? You know that phrase? That's how I hate myself, in my opinion. And people can disagree, but I've been there. I've been doing the shots, and I look back and I go, right, let me have a think about this. Was I living in the moment? No. Did I care about anything? Not really. Did I really have any self-respect? None whatsoever. All I wanted was my fix. I want my dopamine release, and then hopefully I can go and shag somebody later, and I get my dopamine release when I go out on the pull. Like, great. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I got smashed, and we had a one-night stand and all that. And then the next day you feel like crap. Oh, I wonder why. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it? I wonder why I feel like crap. Well, it's because it's just science, isn't it? Like, I've just exploded my brain with a load of dopamine. Is my brain going to be able to produce dopamine from a day-to-day basis in a normal fashion where it just secretes it equally? I heavily doubt that. So when you start working this out, you stop drinking. And the more people that stop drinking say the exact same thing. what a waste of time. And I've seen so many people. I know people that have died. I know people from this is from alcohol and drugs. I know people that have died. I know people that are suffering severe mental health issues. I know people that are putting on an act. I know people that still do it. And we're going back to what we said a minute ago about being boring. And then they call you. And these people are miserable. Are there going, oh, you're boring. I'm thinking, yeah, but I'm sane.
Definitely. I mean, what really pisses me off is like, well, it don't piss me off. But when people say, "Oh, you're boring because you don't drink," but yeah, if I was to go on Facebook and write a status saying, "Oh, I'm 5 years sober. Oh, mate, I was drinking, and I'm clean now for 5 years. Oh, well done. Oh, I'm so happy for you." But yeah, saying, "Oh, I don't drink. Oh, you're boring." It's like, what?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I just go, "Oh, I'm 30 years clean or whatever." Or, I don't know. It's just like that gets so like, well done. If you had a problem and you're now clean, like, well done to you. But for those that just never wanted to get in that state in the first place, like, why are they boring? You know?
Yeah, exactly. I 100% agree. And the other flip side of it is, if you put a status up saying that you're clean, you'll get a few people coming along and saying, well done, because obviously they're showing the fact that they can't do it and they probably want to do it. But if you put a status up saying, I tried, but I failed and I'm back on the drink, I can tell you those likes are going to multiply and those comments are going to multiply, because the people are more, statuses do better when you're looking like you're down and out.
Yeah.
You know? So unfortunately, with the way the world is, the kind of like, you know, people when they check into A&E and they don't say what's going on, people are all over it. You know, like what somebody failing, basically. People like failures more than they like successes. And that's because they've got to look themselves in the mirror. And it goes back to what you were saying as well. Because they've got to look themselves in the mirror and go, oh, he's failing. Well, I feel better about myself. Yeah, I can go out to Wetherspoons again.
Yeah, literally.
And that, they're all over that shit. Honestly, they love it. And do you know what I've done, dude? But kind of connected to this more latterly. The last, probably since 2019, I've decided just to cut a lot of people out of my life. And exponentially, my life has absolutely exploded with positivity. And I've done more practice than I've ever done. I've hit the gym more times than I've ever done. And instead of me going, yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah, of course, let's go out. Since I've stopped doing that, my YouTube's gone up. My TikTok went up. Like, everything went up. And it's not a coincidence. What do I want? To waste my life around, waste my life away with losers that are wasting their lives, or do I want to excel? And at every opportunity, these people will try and bring you back down and try and pull you back. Or they'll try and join in on your act because they see you doing well. So they want to be like, well, how about I do that with your YouTube next time? I'm like, how's about fuck off? You know, and it's not, and that's not because I don't like them. That's because you can go, they can go and do their own YouTube. And they can work on themselves and become as good or as bad as they want to be. And I'll support them. I won't support them when they're getting fucked, and I'll tell them to stop getting fucked, because I'm sorry, I keep swearing now, but I'll tell them to stop drinking, and I'll not support them when they're drinking and doing drugs. I'll walk away and say you're doing the wrong thing, because that is what a true friend is. A frenemy is the ones that go, it'll be all right, mate. Just come out and we'll get drunk. Yeah, it doesn't matter about your YouTube and all that. It's fine. Just come on. I don't do that. I only support people and say, you need to stop smoking. You need to stop drinking. You need to stop doing drugs. You need to stop shagging around. Like, all the stuff that I've learned from back in the day, I've kind of got ventured away from that, and I'm not interested in it. So why would you be interested in it at whatever age you are, in your 30s or 40s? You're just destroying your life. And as soon as you say that, you don't hear from them again.
That's it. Literally. Yeah. I mean, you only need, like, well, couple of mates with more. It's just 90% of people are just, they've been taught the wrong things, haven't they? That's the thing. So
yeah, and I'm not having to go at anyone. I don't dislike anybody. And it's not that the fact that I'm hating on people. I love it. Honestly, I love everyone equally. Somebody could walk into this house now with a butcher's knife and just shove it straight into me, and I'd be like, "Why are you doing that, mate? That's a bit evil, isn't it?" I won't be like, "You were," because it's like, and then that sounds absolutely insane, and people think that would be insane. But if I survived it, I'd still forgive him. And why is that? Well, it's because if I didn't forgive him, I've not got over my trauma. I forgive everybody. Some of the stuff I don't want to go into any details whatsoever because I don't want to give people the gratuity. I don't want to give people the satisfaction of me talking about them and getting attention. But people in the past have tried to absolutely destroy me. And honestly, I forgive you all. It's fine. Don't worry about it because I'm not the person that's holding on to that hate, that hot coal walking around going, I hate him and I hate him. I'm just going, well, I hope you sort yourself out because you are just a person. I've got a brain. You've got a brain. We all go to the toilet. We all have to eat, treat, drink, make our way through life. You are me. I am you. We're all the same bloody thing. So if you do plunge that knife into my stomach and I survive, I'll come and shake your hand and say, I hope you're all right and I wish you all the best. I've survived it. I'm a stronger person. And that is, I think, the greatest life lesson. Forgiveness. And you could say it's a Christian trait, but I'm not saying that's the. I'm not relating it to that. I'm just saying that there are some things in life, and that's the other thing. There are some things in life that you disagree with. For example, if someone's not religious, they don't believe in the Bible. There are some good teachings in it. I won't just be like, well, that's all a load of rubbish. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I am a Christian. I've been christened. I'm not saying I'm a Christian either. I'm just saying that you can take something from everything, whether it be somebody on the media, a religion. Obviously, they've got terrible flaws, but so did everybody's got terrible flaws at some point, or everything has a terrible flaw within it. You've got to pick out the good things from things and take a lesson from it. So I'm all about forgiveness. I'm all about getting over trauma through lessons and seeing other people. And very quickly, I'm sorry to rant on again, but
you sound.
If nowadays, if I'm in a debate with somebody or we have a disagreement, I just can't dislike them. I used to put it to the personality and be like, oh, I hate them. And then, what I know is I'll stand alone with that same opinion on my own. There'll be 20 people around me, and I'll stand forward and say I disagree with all 20 of you, and I'll stand my ground. But it doesn't mean, and I feel like a lot of people will take that to heart and be angry at me and dislike my character and try and bring my character down as a persona. Oh, he's done this, he's done that. Whereas I don't really care about anyone's character or persona. If somebody says something that's true, it resonates with me. No hate whatsoever anymore. Don't do that.
Yeah, definitely, man. I like how you respond to people on social media who give you negativity, and the way you deal with it and that. It's really good. I remember the first time I got my first hate email. It's like this guy had signed up to my email list. It's like, here's some free songs, and he was just being disrespectful on that. I thought, you can just unsubscribe if you want. You don't have to like my music. But then he just carried on. So, I'll unsubscribe for him. So I unsubscribed him, and he must have saved my email because he just kept carry on. I'm thinking, God, is this guy like a bad day at work or something, or just hates his life that he's unsubscribed to this email, but he's still sending me the hate, man? I'm thinking, well, I must be doing something right. Because if you weren't getting any hate whatsoever, then you might not be good enough. But when you're getting good at what you do, when you start attracting the trolls and the negativity, so.
You hit the nail on the head. I think you hit the nail on the absolute head there, Lucas, because when you get hate, all you're seeing is the real projection of somebody's actual mood. That's what you're seeing, how they're feeling inside. That's all you're seeing. So that's why I forgive everybody, because if I give it them back, then that means they've affected my mood. That means I'm the same as them, and I hate things. That means I hate myself. So why would I be? And I don't hate myself. I love myself. And I don't care if people go, oh, he loves himself. Well, yes. That means I'm not going to go and top myself, doesn't it, if I love myself? What do you want me to do? Hate myself and go around hating on people like you? So I would take it as a massive compliment. I actually wake up in the morning sometimes and see if there's any hate there, and I get excited. And when there isn't, I'm a bit like, am I doing something wrong? Like, why have I got no hate today? This is incredible. And I'd accept people subscribe to me just to hate on me every day. I've had it so much in my life, like from I'm not, again, don't want to name people, don't want to give the satisfaction. People are just very human, and I think sometimes to be the person, we go back to what we said earlier again, stoic and not thinking with feelings, just logic, watching your video and going, right, let's watch what he's like. Well, he is good, obviously. Well, he's created that himself, so clearly he's creative. Oh, he can play it well. Like, that's what people should be thinking if they're in a good place within the heart and they're happy. But if somebody's just critiquing something completely negative, you've got to critique things negatively. But by attacking the person, you're just literally showing who you really are. And I sit back in conversations, and in real life, I'm very vocal on the internet, and in real life, I like to listen. So if I'm around a group of people, a lot of the time I don't give my opinion. I just sit and listen to what they're saying. What's the mood like? How are they saying it? How are they phrasing it? Are they hateful people? And I don't tend to give a lot of my personal opinion, not because I'm worried, but because I want to know whether these people are worth investing time into or not. And so I would take it as a huge compliment. And the kind of like the more subscribers I get, the more I get attacked. And if you look at someone like Alestapario Siberiano, who I've been very influenced by recently, he's making unbelievable content, outlandish drummer, like just ridiculous, ungodly human. If you look on his videos, he's getting hate as well. It is there. It gets mixed up in all the people that are showing his talent. So he's getting it. If he's getting it, mate, I won't worry about you getting it.
Wow, I want more. I want more hate. Is there a platform where you think you get more hate on that platform, but not so much? Say Instagram's just full of positivity, but then you go over to TikTok, it's just full of hate, or does that not really?
Yeah,
really get that?
Yeah. I'd say. Do you know what? I'd say the more successful a video is, no matter what platform it is, the more hate you're going to get. So if I'm on a live and people see that I'm making a positive on TikTok, if I'm making a positive difference to people's lives and I'm trying to help and be positive and build them up, you'll notice that someone will come in and say something really derogatory. And I just ignore it because it doesn't bother me whatsoever. Like, I'm like, oh, yeah, I've got a bit more. That's quite cool. Sometimes I won't ignore it and go, oh, so apparently I'm, enter some idiot there that they've compared me to. And I'll be like, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for making that observation. I'd like more of that if you could. And then I move on, and they won't come back because they want me to go, no, I'm not. And they want me to reach their level of anger and pain and suffering that they're going through and to give it back because then they've won. And then like, oh, gosh, I get to do it. He's got his attention now. And that's all it is. It's attention seeking. Because they're not doing anything with their lives, not actually doing anything. They're getting hate because they're looking at themselves and they're going, I've got to question myself here because I'm just sat with a fake profile, like masturbating to Pornhub every night and hating on people. I need to get this guy's attention in a really negative light, and I feel bad actually saying that because I don't think bad about these people whatsoever. I just think that the more popular the video or the more popular the live, the more you're going to draw some negative attention, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe you're right. It's not to do with the platform. It's just how popular the video is. It's just I've been getting into Instagram the past 4 months or so because I've mainly focused on Facebook. I don't say this to brag or anything, but because I've focused on Facebook for the past 6-7 years, that's where my followers are. So I'm on 37,000 followers, but that's just because I've gone 100% on that platform. The rest of the platforms, the Instagrams, the TikTok, hardly got any followers there because I've not been focusing on those platforms. But because I've been starting to get into it more, I've noticed the difference between audiences. So I'll do a Michael Jackson cover orchestral metal version,
Of course you will.
Instagram will be like cool, bro, like AF or whatever. But on Facebook, it'll be like, how dare you add orchestral metal to Michael Jackson? How dare you know? And it's like, I love it. I love the hate, but I notice there's two different audiences. You know, the Instagram will love it, but the Facebook guys will be like. But although saying that, at 37,000 followers, when I post a reel, only 2% of my followers will see it. The 98% or whatever are non-followers. So Facebook are dishing your videos out, which is great, but to people who don't follow your page. So do these people even like orchestral metal? You know what I mean? So I'd have thought Meta should be dishing out 50% to non-followers, 50% to your actual followers. But whatever. If they want to dish it out to more people, great. But I don't know. I think Instagram's kind of the same.
Yeah, I think like that is the case on most platforms now, dude. I think if I look at my YouTube, I was looking at my analytics the other day, and it was something like, I can't even bloody remember now. I'm not doing too bad at the moment on YouTube. I think for the first time I've hit 50,000 views in 28 days, which over different videos, which is a new thing for me. Like usually one will go, like in the past one's gone viral, but I've never known like like 7,000 on that video, 9,000 on that video, kind of stuff like it's now being kind of like dished out to different videos, which I'd rather have, to be honest, rather than have like a billion video. Probably get more subs from it, but I think in general it's nicer for people to like everything, isn't it? I don't really know, to be honest. But my point being, out of those like 50,000 views, I think it was like 43,000 new viewers, and the rest weren't put to my current subscribers. And I think that's the same on TikTok as well, because I've got 11,000. And again, we're not bragging about this; we're just stating facts, right? I'm so proud of you and pleased that you've got a great following on Facebook, and I wish you all the successes, and I hope that you can just blow up on every platform, dude. If I'm quite honest, because you're good and you work hard, and that's all that really that's what it takes, I think, to get big and working hard and be good. Not on TikTok, I've got 11,000 followers, and I can make a video and it goes and literally gets 200 views, and I'm a bit like, is it shadow banned? Is it being suppressed? What I'm doing? I don't know. I'm not going to go down that route. But if I go on Instagram, I've got like my Instagram's declining. Like at one point it shot up and I went to 6,000. I don't know. Like my videos get like 200, 300 views on average, and I'm just like, well, that's happened with that, and now it's YouTube. I don't know whether it's. I think a lot of it is a sea of masses of videos getting lost in people's algorithms, and I don't know why and I don't know how. So I can't possibly comment, but I agree with you. It's nice that the videos go out to other people when you look at the analytics, but it doesn't make sense how the current followers don't tend to get those videos. So a few of my mates have said, I never see your videos on Instagram. And I thought, well, I make daily videos. They're like, yeah, I just don't see them. And I'm a bit like, how is that possible? Yeah. So it's really a strange one. We could probably go down this route for a long time and not know. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think subscribers matters on YouTube anymore. Once you get over 1,000, because I see videos popping up all the time. Because you watch this, you'll like this. I'm not subscribed to it, so the subscribers really matter. But I don't know. Yeah. Like I say, I'm just trying to branch out on other platforms now, and just because they're all different. Everybody says like, how come you got this many on Facebook but only this much on? It's because, well, that's what I focus on. But they are two completely different platforms. Like, I know bands that haven't got Instagram. I don't even think they know what Instagram is. But just focus on one platform and just master that one. But
yeah, on one might not work on the other at all. Definitely. I mean, my content on TikTok is heavily different to the content I post on YouTube. On YouTube, I wouldn't say anything political whatsoever, because I've called it the drum channel. And if it's the drum channel, it has to be the drum channel. Whereas on Instagram, I'll put my personal kind of opinion on there. It's not that I'm trying to kind of virtue signal on YouTube, because I just don't talk about anything about that, because I think it's irrelevant. You know, I don't really want to get in a discussion about anything on there, really, particularly, apart from drums, because that's what I'm creating. But on Instagram, I'm happy to go on my stories and say how I'm feeling. On TikTok, I'm happy to make a video talking about like post-coital dysphoria, which is about men that instantly, once they've had sex and had an orgasm, they instantly feel no attraction anymore. They just want to get out of the situation, stuff like that. Unless obviously you're in love with somebody, it's a bit different. But I'm talking about not that was related to not shagging around and having kind of values and respecting yourself. So it's more like, I don't really want to hit a massive audience just talking about that though. So I've stepped back away from that. Otherwise, you're just going to find you'll be making content that you don't want to make all your life. So it's a difficult balance, mate. It's really tough to have any sort of consistency over all the apps, unless you literally just reproduce the same video on all the apps. But like you say, you can't always do that. Like, you have to focus on an app, don't you? And like, I put a lot of my attention more latterly since 2020, if I'm being honest, since last year, 2022, to YouTube. I've always done YouTube videos, but I've not been consistent. And I thought, time to be consistent with it, because if not, I'll just make a video, it'll get so far, then I'll not do it. I'll go over to TikTok, then I'll get some followers on there, then I'll go back to Instagram. And I think it's dangerous to do that, because you'll just find you just stagnating sometimes. So it's a tough one. But yeah, it's also difficult to be successful on all apps. I think what you've done is right, really, by focusing on one app, because then if that explodes, people will want to find you on Instagram anyway. They'll want to find you on YouTube anyway. I think anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just can you hear background noise on your end, or is it just my voice?
I can just hear your voice, but I have got a computer going. It's very quiet. It's very quietly humming.
Oh no, it's just somebody's like shoveling shit outside. So I don't know if you could pick it up on here.
I've got hit. Literally, I can't hear anything, mate. The other day, literally the other day, I was doing a reaction video, and I realised I'd left my computer on, and it was just like, I was like, oh, what have I done? But I'd finished, so I'm just like thinking now, when I'm editing, I think we'll put a bit of background music on that.
Just well, there's 2 minutes left on this one.
Right.
Do you want to go for part 5? I mean,
should we do one more part 5 before dinner?
Yeah,
I'll probably have to. Is that all right?
Yeah, that sound, yeah.
Part 5 and part 12 of coffee, and we'll be back.
Yeah, sounds good for me. Right, I'll see you in 5 minutes, man.
See you then.
Part 5.
Part 5. You know something funny about part 5 is I've just looked at my top and I've got toothpaste down it. It looks like it's semen. I was like, this is going to be 4 parts.
Where is it?
Well, it was earlier on when I was having it. I mean,
well,
it was here. I've just got rid of it. I saw it before. I was like, cause I did it with toothpaste, and I was like, right, I'll get that off, but it didn't work. So I've just been sat. I don't really care. I'm not bothered what people think. They can think it's semen.
Well, that's what the brakes are for.
Exactly. I am empty. I've lost about half a stone.
Sure, fair now. Oh man, what's for dinner later? What are you having for dinner?
I'll go to my. Well, I'll tell you a very quick anecdote. I'm going to my parents for dinner, and I'm not into pork. I've just gone off it the last sort of like year or so, probably a bit more. And Mum's like, you can come for dinner, but it's pork. So what I'm going to do, I'm going down to Morrison's after this, picking up a roast chicken, going round with my roast chicken, and just cutting it off and having like the rest of the Sunday meal with my chicken.
That's it. That's not a bad idea.
Compromise.
Yeah. I think I'm having chicken carbonara.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That really does sound good. I've not had carbonara for ages, dude.
Yeah. And then I'm going to harvester later, but we were supposed to be going to... Have you ever heard that place in Chesterfield, Hunloke Arms?
Yeah, man, yeah.
We went about 2 months ago, like, it's really good in here. Like I was spoiled for choice with menu, but we had that like it's like a kebab where you just hanging kebab like hangs down, but we just like chunky chicken in it. Oh,
That's exactly what I had when I went.
yeah, but
Good, isn't it?
we were gonna go, but we got bad with us this time. We can't go upstairs with Pram and that. So, oh, sorry, we'll just go to Harvester. It's only 2 minutes up the road. But
Which one is it? Is it the one on Derby Road? Is it near which Harvester is it?
it's literally on junction 30 M1. So you come up, balls over junction 30 on M1. It's like KFC, McDonald's, and then it's just it used to be that Treble Bob.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I know you mean.
But
yeah, I need I had a Harvester for ages. Manual the last time I had a Harvester, I think.
yeah, the triple chicken at Harvester's not as good anymore. They like shrunk the portion size, but literally everywhere else has as well. So still good though.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, the food gets smaller, but it increases in price, doesn't it?
Yeah. Morrison's Cafe. I love a good Morrison's breakfast, but then after the pandemic, it were like they're more expensive and you get less. Like, this ain't good, is it?
It's a bit weird since the pandemic. Everything's done that, isn't it? It's almost like a coincidence. I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. So anyway, I wanted to ask you about drums when you have the electronic kit, don't you?
Yeah.
Is those drums just set in the kit, or do you like plug it through like drum samples on a laptop or something, or is it just what it is on the machine?
It's just what it is. I've always no matter what kit I've had, I've always tried to be as raw as possible. In other words, I don't really have the budget to be able to make it sound really good. But no, on a real thing, like obviously I play in a band, and the production's incredible. To be fair, like who we get to produce it, unbelievable. Treehouse Studios, Carl Bown has done stuff like Bullet. He's done, I think, it's Sleep Token recently, Machine Head, and loads of really cool stuff. And with that, it's so polished. I love it. Like, it's an unbelievable mix. I can't achieve that. I'm not a producer. I can't do any sound engineering. I could probably put it through MIDI and then replace the notes with Thomas Hark's drum. What's it called? You know what I mean? He's got that software.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure which software it is, but
yeah, the Sugar Drummer's basically he's got his own software, I believe. You know what, mate? One thing that you need to know about me is I literally love the drums. I love playing things. I know nothing about technical aspects. I know nothing about sound engineering. I know nothing about anything with that sort of stuff. That's why I chose to be a drummer. But the older I get, the more I realise I need to be able to know things about it. Like, why is the white noise happening? What's going on here? But you know what? Everything that you hear through that kit is just my playing. And like, if I miss a rim shot, do you know what? As well, it's actually harder to play an electronic kit consistently than it is a real kit, in my opinion. Because if you slightly hit a rim shot but not quite on a real kit, it just sounds like a different tone. It's still a rim shot. If you slightly miss a different rim shot over a 6-minute song and there's just one rim shot missing, it suddenly changes everything. Because all the way through you've been hearing, then it'll go, and I'm like, I've got to do the entire song again just because, but that wouldn't have happened with a real kit. So in answer to your question, a very roundabout way, everything's as raw as I can get it, and me sounding, because obviously it's an electric drum kit, so it's going to be electric and fake anyway. So I want it to be like, if you notice a mishit, you've noticed a mishit. I'm just going to leave it out there for everyone to enjoy or hate.
Yeah, that's it, man. So you recorded at Treehouse then? So I was thinking of recording my next album there as well, because I've always done it like on my own here, but I'm thinking of going to Treehouse for the next one.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
There's some good things. I mean, these guys, Connor, who was on the last podcast episode, that they recorded there just after Bullet had recorded there, and their new album. This one, Signed in Blood, it's just come out recent. Oh, it disappears.
It's gone. I can see it there. Yeah, I can see it there.
But yeah, definitely this was recorded there, and it sounds like amazing, like top notch. So I've been inspired like to record there.
I can only say good things. There's nothing that I can say about recording the Treehouse Studio that is negative whatsoever. Not everything's just bob on. Super professional, amazing people that work there, and just a super experience. Like everything is done really properly and stuff, and you want to get the best out of you. Love it. Yeah, I'd highly recommend it, and it's going to be sick when you do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know when that's going to be yet. I want to get mine to playing live next year. So when I'm in Ibiza, I want to be tabbing out all the guitar tabs for guitarists and bassist, so they can learn the songs as well. But
Sure.
yeah,
it's exciting, really, isn't it? Because it's like the next step after putting things down and laying things down. Actually playing it and performing it's just like the most exciting thing sometimes.
Yeah, like I say, I've been at this on Facebook for like 6-7 years now. I've built this following. I think I've got more followers in France, to be honest, and they're the ones that are like, "Oh, want to play live? Want to see you?" Blah blah blah. So I thought I've got to get it done. But I just wanted to build a little bit of following first, and then see what happens. So,
Yes.
in your band, Take the Seven, one of your members is Simon, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Wicked good.
Amazing. Yeah, amazing guitarist.
It really is.
Yeah.
Just to brag about him. It's in my band. No, it's not my band. It's in our band, and it's just bloody great. It's bloody great. Yeah, sorry, Karen.
No, I'm saying I worked at college, at Hillsborough College, for a couple of months, just teaching first year, and he was there teaching guitar. So when I've come across your band, I'm like, oh, I know him. But
Small world, isn't it, as well?
yeah, because it used to be Norton College, which is when I went as a student.
Yeah.
But then they offered me the job to teach first year students. So I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. I only did like half a year or whatever. But yeah, I was like, bloody hell, this guy's good. Because like my boss, he were the guitar tutor. And he goes, oh, I don't do that anymore. Like, you don't teach guitar? I was like, no, we've got Simon instead. Like, all right. Was still like, Jesus Christ, he's good.
That boy can shred, let me tell you, yeah.
Yeah, he's really good at the tapping stuff as well.
Yeah.
Out of all the techniques, tapping isn't something that I do a lot, but I'm like starting to practice it a bit more now.
Right.
But
it all looks mental to me. Hammer pull off, like tapping, up and down strokes, like, you know, just I look at it and just go, yeah, I'll leave that to the guitarist, I think.
yeah.
Like, I can't believe, like, and like you said earlier, I really like how you're approaching, not that I know anything about guitar, but I really like your way of approaching things. Like you say, you've got a section for the tapping, you've got a section for that technique and a section for a different technique. And ultimately, like with drums, I can draw a similarity with me, whereby I try and break it down into sections, you know, where like it's just combinations of things sometimes, and it's nice to have that structure and know what's going on. Like it makes you think about the structure of it, I think, as well, doesn't it?
Definitely, man. I mean, like with drummers, you got to have different fills, and when you're playing live, I've noticed like some drummers will just come up with a totally different fill than what it is on the album. I don't know if you're an Iron Maiden fan, but when I listen to Nico playing the drums on that, he's like an octopus. Like every drum fill is different. It's not always the same as what it is on the album. I'm just like, fucking hell. Does he even know what he's going to hit next in what order or whatever? So it's just, yeah. I'm not very good at explaining that, but hopefully you know.
I think I understood it. I think I understood perfectly what you're talking about. And for me, I think everyone's different, aren't they? For me, a show, I kind of like it when it's a little bit different. Some people just want to hear the exact record and just hear the exact fill that they do. And I think there's a time and a place for it. But if he's doing varied fills, it just gives it energy. It gives it a new layer, a new texture, and it makes you hold on a minute. What's going on there? And I think there's a lot to be said for that, to be honest. If I'm playing, I think as well with the style of music it is, it really works. I think if I kind of change fills for Take the Seven a lot, I tend to just play really straight. I tend to play live for Take the Seven specifically. I tend to play very just like the album as much as I can, and depending on my mood, I'll change the fills. And then when I do change it, I think I should do that more often, because it feels better. It keeps it fresh. And then sometimes Si will look round at me. He'll be there playing. Obviously, you see a lot of men's arses as a drummer. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, that's enough about my internet search history. He'll be playing like this, and I'll do a different filth, and I'll just see him be like, "That's not him masturbating. That's him meant to be playing the guitar." And he'll look round at me and he'll give me that face, and I think, "Oh, maybe I should do something that's a bit different every so often." So yeah, I think there's a lot of room for it, and I agree with you. I love it, mate.
Amazing, man. Amazing. Who are your top? I mean, I can't pronounce his name. The guy that just plays the one hand.
Elastapario.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm guessing he's one of your favourite drummers.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, I'd say for his. I think with Elastapario, it's more about what's the word? The fact that it's new. He's doing things that are inspiring, as opposed to. It's not just about how technical he is. It's the fact that he brings together a showman piece. Everything about it's good. You know, so you get drummers that are super, super technical and flary, and it'll be really kind of like which is great. Like everything's going on. It's crazy. It's like jazz metal. It's like, whoa, I want to listen to some more of that. But he's kind of like doing things which are outside the box, like using two sticks to create 16th notes, going up and down on a cymbal, which is there. So he's connecting with two sticks at the same time. He's doing a gravity blast in his left hand. Some people, when it's time for a gravity blast, someone will just do a gravity blast, like me, can gravity blast a little bit. So I'll put a gravity blast in. I'm like, and that'll be the end of it, and I'll be on to the song. But he'll be doing a gravity blast as well as doing those 16th notes, and then doing an ostinato between his right and left foot. And it's not so much like how technical it is, it's the showmanship, and it's the fact that he's bringing a whole show essentially together visually, aesthetically, and sonically. So I'd say he's definitely up there with being the inspiration of being a flair drummer and showing off. But I also like all sorts of musicians and drummers, kind of Joey Jordison, not the most technical at all, but what he creates, it just has a flavour that nobody can replicate, and stuff like that. And then you've got all your drummers. Sorry to go on about drummers now or loads, but you got like your Mike Mangini's, who's just super technical. He doesn't really he's a bit of a showman, but he's very kind of straight, and he's a teacher, so he's quite all about making it right. And then I like people like Mike Portnoy, who used to be in Dream Theater, but he's completely opposite to Mike Mangini. The fact that he was all about, again, more what's this bloody word I'm looking for? Essentially, creativity. He's more of a creative flair, writing things that probably aren't overly hard, although he can play hard things. Mike Portnoy, very hard things, but it's more about how he creates a story in the song. So I like Elastapario for showmanship and technicality. I like Mike Portnoy for his creativity and his showmanship. I like Mike Mangini because he's really technical and he's almost robotic. And then I like flavour drummers like Joey Jordison. It's all very metal inspired, I know, but I just think they're amazing. Then I like someone like Dave Weckl, who just, honestly, and this is no disrespect to Elastapario because I'm not even a blemish on his buttocks, but as The Rock once said for WWF, we're going back to the old days. But if you compare Elastapario's playing to someone like Dave Weckl, he's just nowhere near him. Like Dave Weckl is a jazz musician that's like 60 odd now, and he's just an outrageous, crazy autistic man. And I don't mean autistic in a bad way, because I think some of the best drummers are autistic, to be honest. I'm
Yeah.
probably on the spectrum. Never been checked, not bothered about being checked. As long as I'm happy, I'm all right.
Amazing. Sure, fair now.
Yeah,
So,
a lot of stuff going on in my brain right now about drummers. Sorry, go on.
no, it's good. I expect to talk a lot about drums.
Yeah, exactly. We've mentioned it at the end, though. At least that's one good thing, isn't it?
Yeah. The Dragon Force, the Dragon Force cover that you did through Fire and the Flames. I think that's like your most viewed on YouTube. It's got like 100,000, 120,000 views.
Yeah.
What do you think the reason is why that one's? I mean, for me, I just love Dragon Force, but I can't say that's the reason why. Because you've done so many other good covers as well, so many good artists. Is there a reason why that one's kind of just gone? Do you reckon?
It's really odd. I didn't really expect that to go anywhere, if I'm completely honest. Any Dragon Force cover that I've ever done's done the best on any platform. On Instagram, it went massive once. On YouTube, I did a cover in my bedroom of a Dragon Force song, Black Winter Night, when I was, talking 22 years old or something. Or, I'm nearly 40, and it's got like a pink towel hanging up. The camera grain is awful. Like the quality is awful. The sound's dreadful. And that went to like tens of thousands. Then I did Reasons to Live a few years later again. It weren't out to speak of the way it looked and everything. And that went to 88,000. And it just seems to be Dragon Force. And then I do that one, like you say, I think it's on 120, 119 or something thousand. I can't remember, and that blew up. And do you know? I think if I was to guess, and I don't really know, if I was to guess why, I'd probably say because I think people like flashy things and quick things, and non-drummers start getting involved if it's super quick. And a lot of people that aren't drummers maybe see speed as success, and they think Dragon Force, Guitar Hero, that's the hardest. It's the end level. It's like really difficult to do through the Fire and the Flames. It's really difficult to play Dragon Force songs, and so I think it's visually, aesthetically pleasing, because of the movement of a drummer and if you're someone, it's kind of like, when do you stop looking at the screen? Like, at what point do you go, I'm going to scroll off that? Because there's something always happening. Maybe it's because of that. And I think the reason, maybe, is because Herman Lee is so good at social media and so good. I mean, he's, in my opinion, sorry, Herman, about this. We do follow each other, so I don't know whether he'll see this or not, but he's really kind of took the Dragon Force social media to the next level. I think they could have crashed or burnt. I don't think anything detrimental of the music. The music's amazing. But in a modern day society, it's hard to be relevant. But I think he's absolutely on point with his social media, and is really good at kind of, no disrespect, staying relevant and keeping people interested. And he's the sole reason Dragon Force are doing and have done so well, and probably why my videos have done well, probably down to Herman Lee. Stayed at his house once in 2013 in LA. That was an amazing experience, and he's driven, man. He is driven, and we went out to the Rainbow Bar on Hollywood Boulevard. Is it Sunset Boulevard? The famous one, the Guns N' Roses. Is it Sweet Child of Mine that's filmed there? I think we went in there. He weren't drinking. He didn't drink it. He didn't drink it. As a lot goes back to what we were saying earlier again. There's a lot to be said for people that want to achieve things, and this man has got his head on his shoulders. He's got a good business head, a good logical brain about output and what to do, and he's not going out doing drugs. He's not going around shagging loads of different women. He's not going out getting smashed. I was drinking more than him, and it kind of, around that time, I was kind of more into, on holiday especially, getting pissed. And I think mainly because of him is the answer, really, why my videos have done any good. If he'd not made content, no one would probably know who Dragon Force were anymore at all. Or, that's disrespectful, maybe they wouldn't be as successful as they are now. Certainly.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean, because well, everybody's on social media now. Even bands like the classic 80s metal bands, they're on social media. But it's like, look, if we don't, are we going to be relevant, sort of thing? So I do get what you're saying, but I think Herman, he understands the importance of social media. So, but a lot of people, a lot of bands don't. They just hire somebody. Like you go and do all our content, and we don't want anything to do with it. But you've got to show up. So yeah, I do totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be said for it as well. Like you can crash and burn as a band. You could literally be the most technical. You could be the most amazing to listen to. You could put on the best show, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be as big as someone like Steve Terryberry on YouTube, for example, who I don't know if you've heard of.
Yeah, them with glasses, in it.
Yeah,
he's like, "Hey guys," like, pulling on his face. Yeah, he
exactly,
he were going to play for Dragon Force, weren't he, for a couple of shows?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think they saw something in each other. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Herman Lee saw something in Steve. Steve saw something in Dragon Force because obviously they're a great bloody band and they can play. So it kind of, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. Let's do something together. And then they both blow up together. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's finding somebody, not trying to rinse somebody or leech somebody. It's finding somebody where you both got the same overall goal in wanting to make something which is entertaining and get people to kind of like, gather fans. I'd like to think that anyone that likes me watching this will go on to follow you. And I'd like to think maybe some of the people that follow you maybe come and follow me. I mean, I'm not probably for everyone. You're not probably for everyone. I think you are. But do you know what I mean? You don't know what people are thinking. So I think it's all about doing things that you enjoy. And we enjoy chatting to each other, and we wouldn't be doing it if not. But using it in a way that's going to kind of entertain and create something different. And I think like using Steve Terryberry as an example, they've worked off each other. It's no coincidence they're both doing bloody well on YouTube and on all the social media. I mean, Dragon Force, what are they on? Like, I don't know, 2 million followers on YouTube? That's a lot for a power metal band. Think about it. It's not even a power metal band. It's an extreme power metal band. So it's its own genre, really. Who else has done it since? No one's done that genre. But they've got like 2 million followers. I'm guessing, maybe 1 point something. But it's because there's a lot better bands maybe out there. Maybe. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it as an argument. But are they doing the things that Herman's doing? Don't think they are.
Yeah, definitely is definitely more active. One of the most active, I'd say, was like in a big famous band and that. But yeah, I still don't. I still think there's people I don't. I mean, fair enough. If you don't want to be on social media, if you don't want to be active, like I get it. Like people are shy talking to a camera. Like I don't really go live that much, but when I do, I just give it my best, even though I'm not like all that confident speaking to a camera. But
yeah,
I know the importance of it, is what I'm saying.
No, you do it well. I mean, you wouldn't think that to the conversation we've had today. I think people are often, not you, by the way, but I think people often worry or think about how they're coming across, and it'll impact the way that they are. But we're fine as we are as people. We can just go and do it. And I think maybe some people can't do it at all, and it is to their detriment, unfortunately. So yeah, there's a lot to be said for just going and doing it and not thinking. Sometimes I think maybe with everything in life, really. Obviously, preparation is key, but just if you're not prepared, just do it anyway.
Yeah,
great sound advice there, isn't it?
I mean, I know I'm kind of just like listening to speak, and I'm not really interacting. Like, I know what I mean. Yeah, like, but the reason why I'm not doing that is because it cuts your voice out. It blurs your voice out when I react to something. So that's why I'm like kind of just sat and then wait until you stop. Then I'll say it because it blurs it out. Otherwise, in person, I'd be like, oh yeah, like, you know what I mean? That's why I'm not interacting as much as I would.
You wouldn't believe it, but I've been trying to hold back from saying all these mannerisms of yes and no and because I know that. And I've not done this much, so I keep forgetting. But I 100% completely understand, but it's the way it's got to be. Like a podcast, you've got to have somebody talk, then the other one talk, and you've got to get on that kind of wavelength of when someone finishes, then you begin. There's been a few times where I've been like, yeah, and I'm like, shut up, Gaz, shut up.
Yeah, it's because when I'm listening back to the other episodes, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have said something because I couldn't hear what the other person was saying then because I just butted in by saying, oh yeah, or, you know. So I'm just kind of like, just like nodding my head, but I'm wanting to react, if you know, say it. For anybody that didn't know.
You've got it down, absolutely. I've been trying to do a lot of this, like, so I'm not speaking.
Yeah. Oh man. So
one more thing, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
One more thing I was just going to say about Herman. One of the most cool experience, and this is for inspiration to people. I made Dragon Force covers on YouTube, and one day when I was working in the bank, got a message from Herman Lee on some app, I can't remember, saying, do you fancy meeting up? I was just like, yeah, go on then. And then we exchanged numbers, and he asked if I wanted a jam. And that's what happens if you put your content out there. Anyone that's worried out there about putting the content out there and going, oh, I don't know if I should show off what I do because it might come across as bad or I might get hate. Get hate. Who cares? Are you going to stop doing things because you're worried about some people that hate you because they hate themselves? But you might be able to jam with Dragon Force. I mean, if I'd have never put my content out, that is probably one of my favourite moments of my life. Just sat there to whatever song it was, did about 9 or 10, kind of Valley of the Damned. And I'm just looking at the left of me, and you just see this man that's like iconic, just like, I can't do the bloody tone of it. And he's just doing all these things, and he's looking like, and I'm just like, I'm looking like just giving him the nod, and I'm actually thinking, I look so calm. I'm thinking, what is going on? This is just insane. Like, I can't believe it. Oh my god. Dive bomb. It's just crazy, dude. It was like, honestly, it was just mental. And that only came through me making content. And that's why I still make content. Because if I don't, I might not get ever a good opportunity again in my life. If I just sit and I often get called a bedroom drummer by people that hate on me. That's absolutely fine. I don't mind. I mean, technically it's my living room, so at least call me a living room drummer. But I don't really mind about that because if I'm a living room, or let's call it, if I'm a bedroom drummer, then they're a bedroom commenter. What would I rather be?
Yeah. Keyboard warrior.
Keyboard warrior.
I mean, that is really inspiring. And for anybody who's a musician, like watching this, really does need to listen to that, what you've just said. I'm hoping this AI tool will really go, oh, they really need to make a short out of this. If not, I'm going to make a short.
I was going to say, if not, I'm coming round and I'll help you. Now, joking. AI, mate, it's gonna live up to it. I believe it will work. I believe they'll get that in there. Sure.
Yeah. Have you got any concerts that you bands that you're going to see like coming up? Oh wait, sorry. Did you see Dragon Force last time they came to Sheffield? I think it was 5 years ago, 2017.
17 was it?
Yeah.
Corp.
Yeah, Sheffield. Yeah, Corp.
Yeah, I was in the backstage with them. I was in their dressing room.
Wow.
I went to see him in Nottingham as well. I went for a meal with them at an Italian restaurant before they played the Ice Arena. That's the one thing I'm very fortunate for. If they're touring, I often get I do get the perks of going backstage and having the VIP access, which I'm very fortunate for, and I never take for granted, and I love it. And I've met them all. I knew them I kind of met them properly in 2003, and I met Sam, who's a lunatic, but I love him still. Sam Topman and Herman, and I remember seeing them at the Charlotte in Leicester before any fans were there. They still had a couple hundred packed out, which is unbelievable. And I was chatting to them then before I don't think Herman knew who I was and remembered me from that show, but I was talking to him then. And it's incredible how they just got bigger and bigger. And then, I saw him at Corp, and Herman gave me his pass. And then I was chilling with him before, and I'd just been in a boxing match, and Giuseppe, the drummer, was like, "Hey, what you have done to your hand?" And I was just like, "Oh yeah, I beat up somebody in a boxing match, and I can't move it anymore, so I can't drum very well." So I had a tan. I've got some. I think it's my first post on my Instagram from ages ago. So I read it on Instagram. And I'm just there with Herman and Sam. I've got a taped up hand from a boxing match, an unlicensed fight, and that's when I quit because I don't want to hurt myself. So yeah, it was a great. It was another great show that they put on. Were you there?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I've only ever seen them that once. Freedom Call were supported. But yeah, it was just nice to see some power metal, or a bigger band playing in Corp, should I say? Or, well, I don't know. But yeah, it were amazing. I can't believe it's been like 5 or 6 years already.
It's gone fast.
Yeah, it's amazing that you were there. You were backstage and that.
Yeah, we were both there, and then obviously I didn't stay backstage the entire time. I came out and was kind of watching at the rail and stuff, and kind of taking it in. It's just like a good visceral like experience when you're there, really.
Yeah, and everybody was chanting Yorkshire, Yorkshire, but they thought they were chanting your shit. It's like, you chanting your shit? Like, no, Yorkshire. I remember that. I
forgot about that. Yeah. That was great.
He goes, right, we're going to stop playing now. We're going to stop playing if you don't stop chanting your shit. It's like, no, Yorkshire.
Can you imagine it if you just literally sold loads of tickets for your own band and everyone that bought the ticket was chanting your shit? That would be the weirdest experience, wouldn't it? You'd be like, well, I might as well give up now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's... Go on.
No, I'm just saying that happened with Disturbed quite recently. It's like, you're chanting your shit like that. But then it reminded me, that happened at Dragon Force.
Yeah, it'd have been harder to explain to Disturbed, I think, wouldn't it?
Yeah. It's like, what is Yorkshire?
You get the concept. But have you played Corp? I can imagine you've played Corp, haven't you?
No. I've to be honest, I've only ever played at college gigs. I've just gone full on online and just went, I'm not playing any gigs whatsoever until I get at least 2 albums. So I've got 2 albums and 2 EPs, so I'm thinking, right, now is the time. And I'm happy with the fan base that I've got. Obviously, I'm going to keep on building that. I'm going to try and get to 40,000 by Christmas. 40,000 followers. I'm on 37 at the minute. But regardless if I get to 40 or not, I'm going to really start getting into playing live. So yeah, maybe play co-op.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's not the be all and end all anyway. That I think it depends what your goals are and stuff. Like back when in the 20s, I mean, obviously, like, how old are you again, dude? Sorry.
31.
31. So, you similar generation anyway. So, when I was in my 20s, there weren't social media. They weren't making it really on YouTube because you didn't get paid. You just got, I didn't really know what it was in for when I was going viral back in the day, or nearly viral. Is it 100,000 viral or something like that? I got, getting 88,000 and 40,000 stuff like that on my YouTube, but I didn't really see anything in it. So therefore, I just concentrated on getting in bands. I was in a band in Sheffield called Soul Shredder, playing West Street Live and
using Soul Shredder.
Like, yeah, mate. Yeah, I was wondering if you knew who they were or not, but yeah, I played in Soul Shredder too.
Yeah, the female singer, weren't it?
Yeah, they had Tumry, Cookie before. Now they've got a new singer. I don't know her name actually now. Not seen them for ages. I've not seen them for a long time. It'd be nice to catch up with them again. But
did you play with Stuart? Stuart the guitarist?
Yeah, Stu Gibson. Yeah. So he's doing all sorts now. He does like Soul Shredder. Is it Ionia, something like that?
Yeah, I saw them at Co-op 2 months ago. Yeah, really good stuff. But yeah, I didn't know you were in Soul Shredder.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I was in a band called, at the time, they've changed the name now. So Onirica, who were a progressive death metal band based in Nottingham, and I joined them at the same time as Soul Shredder. So I was in 2 metal bands, but I had to go to Belper on like a Wednesday night for them, and then Saturday I practiced in Sheffield with Soul Shredder. And I'm not with either of them anymore, but I really thank them and I hope that they're doing well on their endeavours, because I needed that in my life to be able to progress and and it taught me lessons about gigging and playing live and making sure I use the metronome more and understanding that you shouldn't overplay, and then realizing that you can't underplay. And I just gathered so much knowledge, and I'm still learning, and every day I'm learning. And I think it was important for me to be in Onirica and Soul Shredder and have those experiences with those guys who are all sound, and get the experience basically on my belt. So I loved all those moments of being in death metal bands and thrash metal bands and stuff like that. It was fantastic. Lucky enough to play Court. We actually played with, I don't know, do you remember In Me?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Vaguely. I didn't listen to them, but we played with In Me headlined and Take the Seven supported In Me a few years ago at Corp on the main stage. That was a good experience. And then the main singer of that actually played a wedding gig with us recently as well. We're like, oh, you're doing that now, are you with us? Right, cool. That's all right then, isn't it? So now, when we were talking before about gigging and stuff, and you're saying you're more into the online stuff and you building the audience, that's absolutely brilliant. Like, I think that's a really good way to go about it. And I'd have probably done the same thing if I knew what the internet and social media was back then. But at the same time, I don't regret going down the path that I went down, because obviously I learned a lot of things, and I'd have learned either way. But either way is good, and I think there's just a lot more opportunity.
Well, if I actually want to play live, like my whole goal is to play live and tour. But the reason why I haven't done it is because I've just seen this online opportunity, and I'm getting people in France wanting me to play live. I'm thinking, well, they would have never have discovered me if I didn't go online. So it's not, I prefer to be an online musician. No, I'd rather be out playing live.
Yeah.
I just haven't, because I've just seen this opportunity. We've got 1 minute left on here. You'll have to come back on a future episode. I feel like
I'd love to.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. It's been amazing speaking to you. I feel like we could talk for hours and hours. But yeah, wish you all the best with everything and what you're doing, and we Take the Seven and that, and your social medias. Just been an epic conversation.
It's been awesome. Like, there was never a struggle. There was never a moment. We were both, if anything, trying to not over talk each other. Especially me, I weren't trying to over talk. I think it's better than being dead air, isn't it? So I loved every minute, and I just wish you all the best. And I hope you blow up in every sense of the word, no matter what you do. And we'll just do it. We can do it again. We can talk more. So I just want to say thank you for having me on. I've